Okay, 6 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to our first meeting of the year. Pam, could you please call the roll call?
Mayor Martin.
Here.
Trustee Filano.
Here.
Trustee Hughes.
Here.
Trustee Ruggiero.
Here.
Trustee Machado.
Here. Okay, thank you. And we have the minutes from the December 2nd meeting in your binders. Please take a look, see if there are any corrections to be made or any additions, any changes. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as sent?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, guys. Now with the abstracts, I'm gonna read the December 16th abstracts as well, because we only had one meeting in December. So I'm gonna read them and then, have the deputy mayor sign. So we have Capital Water Wellfield, $15,337.50. Sewer abstract, $9,148.81. Water abstract, $1,624.89. And general fund, $81,009.26. Is there a motion to accept the abstracts as read?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, give those to you, Nick. And then I have ours for tonight, which is January 6th. So we have in the general fund, $58,231.61. Let's see here. Water abstract, $29,508.41. Sewer abstract is $31,880.77. Is there a motion to accept the abstracts as read?
So moved. Second. Oh, nope, go on.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. And I'm gonna just pass those your way. Thank you, Nick. Okay. So, welcome again to 2025. Hope everybody had a happy and healthy holiday season. I just want to report that we had a lot of activities and events here in the village of Fishkill over the holiday season. All of them were well attended and really successful. I was really happy with the tree lighting. I wanted to thank the fire department, Protection Engine, for always being there to bring Santa on the fire truck and, helping us make that day extra special for the kids in our community and the families. I want to thank the Village Hall staff and Pam for, helping to make that event happen as well, because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that needs to happen to make these events so great for the community. We also had the Parade of Lights. The second year of that, the parade more than doubled in 1 year. So it was a really fun event. I think the community really enjoyed it. So we would love to bring that back again next year. And thanks to Dan Burke for making that happen for us. We also had our candlelight concert at the Fishkill Reformed Church. It was lovely. Thank you so much to everyone that attended. Thank you to the activities committee and also to the church for letting us, use the facility and also for providing a really nice dessert, reception afterward at their expense. So that's really nice to offer to the community. So thanks again to the activities committee and to everybody that participated in the events of 2024. And we're moving right into 2025. Always open for suggestion for any new events or activities that people would like to see. Feel free to, send us an email, drop us a call or a letter, if there's any events that people in the community would like to see. And, we'll see what we can do to make that happen. So with that, I am going to open for the first item on the agenda, which is the public hearing for the vehicle and traffic local law. So we'll need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so this is for the vehicle and traffic law. We have a copy of that in your binder from Greg. Oh, wait, let's see. Okay, the local law has been revised to omit the stop sign portion of the proposed law. Right, because that wasn't going to be necessary. Is there anyone here from the public to speak on this local law? And this is to reduce the speed limit on Bedford by the library by 5 miles per hour. So hearing nothing from the public, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, how does this affect the sign?
So we had discussed this before, we're talking about the stop signs.
Yep.
The no parking, it's an actual law, right, in the VTL law.
Mhm.
So all we need to do is just get somebody to put the signs up.
That's it.
That's it.
Just take the one off the tree, put the one in the ground.
Anywhere there's a stop sign, you could put that no parking sign.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So is that? What is it, Paul? You speak to Paul?
Yeah, we could reach out to Paul and I know Glenn is aware too.
Okay.
So
You want me to just reach out to Paul tomorrow?
that would be
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah, no problem.
And he works for who? Is he?
For us, yeah.
For
He's-
the DPW, like his.
Yes.
Leads the water department.
Yep.
But does,
He's the head of,
You're gonna reach out to him. Can you also let him know that the crosswalk, in front of the post office,
is it not lighting
Not
up?
working again?
Okay,
only on one side it's lighting up, so if you're coming,
so which side? Your side or the post office side?
Side.
Okay,
okay.
it's not working.
Cause I know he was aware of that.
We fixed it once. We ordered new batteries.
Yeah.
I don't think that was there. He fixed it twice over at Bedford and Maine, right across
There's
from
been
Beast.
issues with this.
That was done.
Yeah, exactly.
Once before?
Yep.
Okay.
All right,
That
so
sounds
we'll
good.
make him aware of that and have him check back into that and see what the problem is. But thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks
Shoot
for
him a
letting us
text
know.
when we're done.
Okay.
And if you want to talk, I don't know if you want to talk about it later, but we did have that traffic meeting with the town.
Okay.
To discuss
Sure.
the traffic, so if we're on traffic, if you guys want to just,
Yep.
just brief, it was a very productive meeting with DOT, trying to make some changes. Annie, that, we were both attended that
I have the
meeting.
meeting minutes here. I mean, it was a really good example of a collaborative between many levels of our local government. And it was a great initiative by the Keep Fishkill Beautiful. It was a prime example of communication between citizens and government. And I thought it was a really good sharing of ideas. And I do have those.
We have some pictures we'll share too of some signs that they're gonna put up with the parking and the no parking and the plowing. And then we also, during that meeting, it was an excellent meeting. We'll share with you all the different ideas. Also during that meeting, there was a suggestion made, which I think is a great thing, is to possibly maybe quarterly or maybe once every couple of months or twice a year, possibly meet with the town officials so we can work together. If there are some ideas, like some areas where we're like connecting, where we could possibly work together on making this streets a little bit better. So I know one of the things I had brought up was school zone signs by St. Mary's School. That's going to be done. And that doesn't affect us until you come down a little bit further where they're crashing into our poles and
Right.
roads. So things like that. So if the board is open to that, I think that would be something that would be really beneficial if we could meet with the town.
Of course.
Maybe once or twice a year, just kind of like, hey, do you guys have any ideas? Do you guys want to share anything? We can, work together. Because
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
meeting went well. I think we're going to continue to meet with them. We're going to
Yeah, my understanding was they were gonna meet regularly, so.
and meet with the DOT and
Mhm.
the 84 intersection down there. That's
Mhm.
been a problem for everybody. Try to make some resolutions to make that a little bit better also.
Mhm.
And then while we're also speaking of that, we're also, we want to know if there was a committee set up, because I think that, I don't want to speak for you, Annie, but I know that that Safer Streets grant that we got, I don't know if that committee was ever put together, but that's something that I would definitely be interested, considering that Annie and I are both part of traffic,
Mhm.
that we would like to be a part of that.
Right. Well, that was the point of me making the traffic committee.
Yep.
So, now we got the money. So now we're gonna work together to figure out how to use it. And we're also working with the county though.
Yeah.
Because they're also applying for the Safe Streets grant, like for the whole county because of the, Dutchess County Traffic Coalition. And they want to, work with us because we think that we can possibly get more implementation money if we work with them and share data. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I know that a couple meetings ago, we had mentioned that Sarah Brown was going to put together a committee, or she was going to
Mhm.
start. I don't know if it has been done or hasn't been, well, Hans is if it was going to be done, if it wasn't going to be done, I don't know.
Mhm. No, nothing's been done yet, as far as the grants have gone, no. Because there's a lot of steps that have to be taken before we get to that point, like there's webinars and there's a lot of stuff that they want us to do before, we get to that level. But of course, since I created that committee,
Yes.
you guys are at the top of the list. So, anything else?
So I can report back to the town that we are open to setting
Of
up
course,
some sort of collaborative meeting that we can meet together and share different ideas.
sure,
Okay, good.
yep, absolutely. Okay. So, okay, now are we ready to vote on this local law tonight? Okay. So, is the board ready to vote? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so then, as the public hearing is now concluded, I will entertain a motion to, enact this new vehicle and traffic law. What number law is it? Oh, okay, yeah,
Oh,
number 1 of 2025.
So moved.
second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Greg. Okay. And you have perfect timing because the next item on the agenda is the bond resolution. So yeah, for the fire truck.
Well, the, bond resolution, when we draft by bond council. That in order to adopt that, we need to vote for the 5 members in favor of it. That will start the process of being able to buy this fire truck.
Mhm.
So what you're doing is you're authorizing the borrowing of the money necessary to buy the truck
Right.
by virtue of the bond resolution.
But I just want to be clear on one thing. We are authorizing the fact that we could borrow it if we need it in the event that we found some grant funding in the meantime.
You don't have to spend this money.
Right, that's what I want to know.
Right. This is just an authorization
Okay,
up to 1.5 million.
right,
So,
okay.
You borrow.
Because we're still actively looking for grant funding. Of course.
It's 1.5 with the understanding that if we only need 900, we'd only take that.
Right, correct, right. I just want to be clear on it. Good,
You don't borrow the money if you borrow it.
okay. Good. All right, so did everybody have a chance to take a look at this? And Brandon and Danny are here if we have questions. I mean, we've discussed this at quite a few meetings at this point.
Does anybody have questions for Brandon or Danny?
I have a question.
Yes.
Greg, you have the floor.
When does the village have to put a down payment on this truck? When would the
Are they looking for money on contract signing, or? I thought, at least the way I read the letters, the email, is that they're looking for the money when the chassis is,
Delivered.
Yeah.
Correct.
so that, I'm guessing that's months away?
Guys, 6 months?
No, that's a possibility. So the village does not have to make the payment on the cab and chassis, should they choose not to. There is a cost savings to making the payment if they choose to do that. The cab and chassis will probably be about 14 months from the time of order. And that's a guesstimate. I honestly don't know exactly.
Mhm.
But it depends on when our order goes in. But you do not need to make that payment should you choose that you want to make the payment in full at the end of the build. And it's over 2 years out.
But there's a percentage of savings on it.
There is, if you choose to do that. So if you want to open a ban or a bond, if it depends on timing, really. It's up to you. How you want to incorporate that in to maybe another project or something else that you have going on. But you don't have to.
Mhm.
There is a cost savings to making the payment when the cab and chassis is delivered. That is correct.
How much was the, do you know what
I
the,
don't have the figures in front of me.
It was a good amount. It was
It
enough
was.
for us all to, when we were talking about it, I did the math, it was enough for us all to say, yeah, absolutely, we'll take that savings. Cause I think it was 30,000.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
20.
I think it was in the 20s, somewhere in there. But there was also a cost savings based on if we did this before the end of the year,
Right.
or before the end of 24. Because
I think
according to
that's-
Jason, prices were rising
Mhm.
in the new year, come January or mid to late January. So we were trying to get this out before time, but just, it didn't happen. So post that, I don't know what cost savings there are on top of that.
I thought the date was January 13th or 14th.
He told me by, yeah, but we won't have the ban in place. We won't have anything in place to even get
You
those
don't need
savings.
to, but if you have the money secured, you can just sign the contract.
See, I asked him about that and he didn't come forward with that. I spoke to him on the phone prior to the new year and said, hey, can you put paperwork together that if we sign something, we'd still get the savings, even if we're not putting any money down, as long as we committed to the build. And he didn't get back to me on any of that at all.
That funding, it won't matter because you have over a 730-day build time.
Right, but I'm talking about the savings. Because we have to sign, you're saying we have to sign by January 13th to save some money.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's what you're voting on tonight, so that should be the savings.
No, we're voting on moving forward with the ban, so
Oh,
we can,
sorry.
so we can get the money. Yeah,
Either way, it's not gonna happen by and I think if I understand, there's a possibility of it going up if we didn't sign. It's kind of
Right.
like when you walk into a car dealership, and they're like,
Right.
oh, if you don't purchase it right now, it's gonna go up. However, we've decided to move forward. We're gonna
Yeah.
secure our funds. As soon as our funds are secure, we then can sign the contract.
Right.
We
I
can't
didn't-
sign the contract
yeah.
until our funds are secure. And how long is that gonna take, Greg?
Bond resolution will be final in 60 days.
So in 60 days, we can sign the contract.
Mhm. I wasn't under the impression it was gonna go up dramatically if we, I think.
so Marion can hold the current body price until January 13th. After the 13th, the price would increase from Marion by $16,800. They are also participating a Spartan price increase of around $12,000. So we're looking at just about 30,000, 28,800, somewhere in that range.
But the issue.
That's what they're saying. Spartan only holds prices for 30 days as noted in all the proposals that they gave us.
I think the biggest issue is the X12 motor, whether it's available or not available.
Okay,
So that has been the ongoing issue throughout this time. It was originally in our spec, and then they told us we could not get it, so it increased the price, and then suddenly it became available as we were presenting to you.
okay.
And it's still available, to my knowledge, at the moment. Whether there's certain motors out there with diesel emissions, and people tend to buy motors that are good motors. They'll buy them in huge lots. to what extent the availability is when we put our order in is just a coin flip.
Is that a lower price, motor?
It is, yeah. Yeah.
At this point, moving forward, regardless of whatever motor we get or whatever the price is gonna be, we have to first pass the bond, and then we'll talk, when we get closer within the 60 days, we'll talk to you what's available, what's out there, what's the pricing, because right now, we're having a.
It's not gonna matter,
It's
yeah.
gonna matter right now, until we have about 60 days, you're saying, right?
Right.
So let's move
So
forward.
that's
on it.
step one. We have to do that before we can really even discuss the rest of it, I think.
Yeah, but this is the logical first step. I mean, we're
Yeah.
moving forward with this. It's
Right.
just we have to. play that
Yeah,
away.
I don't think, yeah, we're gonna have to do
There's
this.
just steps that have to be
Yeah.
taken.
I thought there was an additional savings too, if we paid for everything like at once. Wasn't there an additional savings?
I don't remember that. Do you guys remember
I don't remember
that?
seeing that option.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't
It
think
was
so.
only the cabin chassis portion of it. So if we paid for it when that's delivered
hmm
to the factory, obviously not delivered here, there's a cost savings to that.
right, okay, that's what I was thinking. So there's that cost savings and the one for us to sign by a certain date,
Yeah,
right?
I don't think we're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that's like a car dealership.
And they're saying it's gonna go up by $28,000,
Mhm.
and we're not gonna be able to make the decision either way, so if
Mhm.
it does go up by 28 or it stays the same.
Right,
we can't
there's
make
not
that
really-
decision.
yeah,
We can
there's-
just move forward with our bond,
right. There's not much we can do about that. So,
which hopefully doesn't go up.
okay.
Well, the price of the bond that we're going for,
Right.
is that the current price or does that include the increases? The 1.5, does that
More than
include
enough.
any possible increases?
It's more than enough.
Legal, we allowed up that.
Okay.
You can always take
Yeah, I'm
money out
trying
of.
to find where it was.
You know, out of your
I
budget.
think so,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Not
we're at,
borrow it. You just pay for the cover.
yeah, we were at, when we were speaking, regardless of pricing, whether it's 20, or what it's 28,000 here or 28,000 here, the price of the truck was right around 1.3. So if
Mhm.
we borrow 1.5, we'll have some leeway. and
Right.
hopefully we come in a lot less.
Cause we don't know an exact number,
But-
that's the thing, so we
It's-
had to.
But there was a letter that said it was
Higher than 1.3. So
1.4.
the original, so the last proposal, it's 1,497,986.
Mhm.
So if you bump it up another 30,000, we're gonna go over 1.5 by about
That's the latest-
26,
that's the
27,000. That was the last one.
Yeah, it was
1,497,
1,497,986. So if you add 20 or 30, we're over the 1.5.
We're gonna be over about 25K, give or take.
But the chances are, 2 years from now, when you pay for this chassis, you'll have money saved up. Because you haven't been paying for money you borrowed. You'll have money that could be used to reduce the cost. That's in your budget, not.
But there's-
You don't, this
Right.
doesn't mean,
So maybe won't have to use the whole 1.5,
that's what I'm saying.
and we can eat up that extra 28K with excess cash.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does everybody understand this is just authorizing, so in 60 days, we're not pulling the money,
Right,
Correct.
Correct.
You're not gonna pull them.
just as long as everybody.
This is, absolutely, this is the first big step.
all right,
It's right.
okay, so, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second,
Any discussion?
Oh.
Sure. Clerk, will you do the
Mayor
roll?
Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Polano,
Aye.
trustee Hughes.
Aye.
Trustee Machado,
Aye.
trustee Ruggiero,
aye,
Okay, so move, thank you. Okay, and we have, next on the agenda is appoint Audrey Wilson as assistant to court clerk for coverage and, criminal calendar. I know she's been interviewed by the judge and the, court clerk. And, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Audrey Wilson as the assistant. To the court.
motion. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
still have Kristen or? is it-
Oh, yeah, this
Okay.
is, a person to help Kristen. We had a
Okay.
person in this position. Yeah.
Is it full-time?
No, we had a very part-time person assisting Kristen. Like if she's on vacation or,
Great.
yeah, I'm trying to, what's
They
the,
come in for their criminal calendar.
yeah, what's the girl's name that?
Oh, Jess.
Jess. You know Jess, the blonde that works in the court once in a while? Yeah, she's gonna be
Haven't been to
leaving.
court, thank God.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. So yeah, this would be to replace Jess.
Okay.
Just retired or quit or,
Yeah, yes, yeah. She works full-time in a couple of other towns, I guess. Or she went to the county now from a couple of different towns. So. Okay, so we had a motion, a second, discussion, all in favor?
All right.
Aye, okay. Yeah, I think Putnam. Okay, let's see what, okay, RBT agreement to provide account services to the Village of Fishkill. They are our auditors. They assist us with our financial reports. And let's see,
is this, we renew this every year? We do it
Yes.
yearly?
once a year, yeah. It's
Um,
just their yearly,
When was the last time we RFP'd?
well before
Who
my
knows?
time.
I mean, I'm okay, doing it for a year, but we may want to consider, I think it's been a long time.
I think so too, and I would not be opposed to that, at all, so. Yeah, just, I think every so often it's the right thing to do, so.
What, look for another,
Well, just in
Scouting company?
general, I
Yeah.
think, I don't know when the last time an RFP went out.
Hmm.
It probably was a pretty long time ago. So it wouldn't, it's always good, it's always, useful to, find out, what services other people can offer and pricing and such.
Yeah.
But at this point, this is the renewal for their services for this year.
Price increase?
No, there is not. The breakdown is on page 2. Yeah, and this is just for authorization for Lee to sign the agreement. Oh. So I will entertain a motion to engage RBT services again for this year for the Village of Fishkill.
Second,
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Just doing this for 1 year.
This is just for the year.
the
Yeah.
December of this year.
And then possibly in the future, look at, for professional services for the village,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Six, right? That's the first time I wrote that, 25. Okay, thank you. All right, so Nick, do you want to come up to the podium just for a second? I think most of you all have met Nick, our new building inspector, code enforcement officer. And one of the things I had spoken to him about, and we've spoken about this, over the last couple of years, is taking a look at our fee schedule. The fee schedule has not been updated since 2012 and was sorely in need of some updating. So I asked Nick to take a look at it, to take a look at some of the neighboring municipalities and take it away, Nick.
Right.
From there.
So I put in front of everyone's place the existing building department, planning board and zoning board fee schedule. And then I also put for you the proposed fee schedule. Took a look at the town of Fishkill, the town of East Fishkill, and used the framework of another municipality to kind of lay out the form for you to give you a sense of kind of what I think would work best for us. You'll see that there are some changes, especially in the residential permits. We brought the simple changes for the homeowners down in price to encourage them to come in to get a permit, to engage us, to make sure that they know that we're here to help them. So that way, when they're doing simple repairs, that they come in and we get to see the work that they're doing to make sure it's done correctly. And then also we tried to modify the commercial side of things to make it a little bit more specific, but also not burdensome on our small businesses, but yet on major projects, make it so it's more appropriate for what they're doing. There were some discrepancies, specifically commercial and multifamily, because one could interpret multifamily to be residential, or commercial, depending on how you chose to do it. And it would really have been the building inspector's discretion in terms of the old schedule. So I wanted to very specifically put it into the bucket of commercial multifamily and identify it as such, since I am aware of the fact that there is a significant multifamily development which has yet to submit a building permit application for the village, which will be coming in at some point, we believe. So I wanted to make it very clear as to what that will be treated as when they do submit. So I went through it. I came up with some ideas. Obviously, it is up to you folks to decide if you'd like to make changes or modifications to this. You do not need to act on this tonight, although it is entirely within your purview to do so. Pursuant to Chapter 81 of the Village of Fishkill Code, it says that you simply may amend this from time to time by resolution of your board. So there is no public hearing requirement, there is no posting requirement. It is done by your modification of resolution at any time. So happy to answer any questions tonight. Happy to do it offline if you want to digest it for a couple of weeks. But these are my recommendations and suggestions to the board.
Yeah, and I wanted everybody to have a chance to really look at this and go through it. So, you know, we can put it on the next meeting agenda or even, you know, next month. But this way you'll have a time to do a comparison and really, you know, dive into it, please. It's something important, I think, that needs to be done. And we've talked about doing it. It's just, you know, finding the time. And I think this is a big step in the right direction. So thank you, Nick, for taking care of this for us. And I'm really,
A lot more
hopeful.
detailed than our current one.
Yes,
Tried to make it a little more expansive and just kind of lay it out a little bit better. So add more information in there for folks, especially in things like the escrow accounts, how they work, just to give it a little bit more detail. The language is in the code as well. However, I think this just kind of explains it a little bit better.
Definition of multifamily, how many families?
Anything over 2 units. If you look at, if you look at the schedule there, it says 1 and 2 units or 1 and 2 family, and then anything above that is considered multifamily. So 3,
so 3
4,
family and above.
correct.
And I like the fact that it does reduce the residential fees because you know, you mentioned to encourage people to come in because it's really all about public safety. I mean, that's the whole thing. We want people to be safe. People it's good to just make sure things are done correctly, just so, everybody's safe, so.
Exactly.
So, yeah, if you have any questions, please direct them to Nick. I think, it'll be good to have everybody have a couple weeks to maybe digest this information. But, thank you so much for doing this, because this is something we
Did
needed.
Greg look this over also? Yeah.
Not
I
yet.
can email a copy to
Oh,
Greg,
did
so
you
he,
email?
I will,
Okay.
I will, so he can take a
Okay,
look
great,
through it.
yeah. This was kind of step one. I wanted you guys to really get a good look at it. So, any questions? And then we'll move on from there. Any suggestions?
Great.
And then we'll figure out,
Thank you. I think
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. Very
thank
good.
you, Nick. Okay. Okay, so, another thing we did want to talk about was the IDA meeting that we had here last month that we didn't have, the IDA had. It was not our meeting. And I think, trustee Machado, did you want to give us an update?
As of this evening, Jackson Crossing is not on the agenda for the January 8th IDA meeting. So I don't know what that means, if they just, or they're reviewing, having an operational meeting. I know originally at that hearing, they had slated Jackson Crossing for review for the January
Yeah,
meeting.
January 8th.
And they're
yeah.
not currently on the agenda. I would simply just like to say that anytime that maybe this is something maybe we could get Nick involved with as well, when we have a project that's put forth for approval, and once it's approved, if there's any further documentation that comes from our village board, planning board, that goes to the IDA, we should be aware of that.
Yes,
Okay, and I feel like that didn't happen.
that did
And
not
It
happen.
did not happen. And I'm not sure what the request for the letter was about. Maybe there was some miscommunication or what the intention was, but we do need to have some clear rules as far as that goes, if it's going to impact us financially.
Yes, I was not aware of that letter. And Hans is not here tonight because he had a flood in his house, so I'm sure he'll be here at the next meeting. But yes, that, I'm not really sure what happened with that letter, if he knew what the intent was of the
I'm not
person
sure, yeah.
requesting the letter, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it just says to whom it may concern. It's not addressed to anybody specifically. I'm not sure how it was presented to him. I'm not saying he knew or
Right.
whatever. I'm just saying if there's any further requests,
Yes,
after a project is approved, that should be brought to the board's attention.
yes, I agree. And we have not heard a word since the meeting. I thank the public that attended. It was a weekday during, the middle of the workday. So thank you to all the people that took time out of their day or took time off of work to come and, lend support or, speak their mind. So we do appreciate that. But, we haven't heard anything since, and I don't know what it means that they're not on the agenda, but I'll follow up and, but the meeting was scheduled for Wednesday morning, correct?
Correct.
Okay, were you planning on attending? Wayne?
No.
No?
I was.
You were, okay. So,
Could it still be put on with 48 hours left, or is it a moot point at this point?
I don't know
I don't think so.
what they're,
You don't think so?
I don't think so, but I can find out.
okay. All right, thank you. Does anybody?
I think they weren't, expecting on a weekday, they were in that.
Right,
How many people show?
I don't think, yeah, they planned that, and then right then and there, they removed it off the agenda, planned to put it back on, so
right. So, Anthony will find out,
I'll find
and
out.
we'll see
I'll let everyone know.
where we stand with that. Okay. Hopefully they we'll make a decision.
And when is
That's
the next,
next.
is there another board, is there a planning board meeting coming up that one of us should attend, so we have the next planning board meeting?
In the village, there is one scheduled for January, yeah.
Third Thursday, I think. right?
Mhm. And you're Anthony,
Yep, I'll attend.
liaison,
Okay,
so yeah, so he'll be attending. If they have anything on the agenda, so. Okay, does anybody else have anything? There's been some changes at the county. In the emergency service, we saw that. But there is some new ambulance service available now from the county. They're doing, that started on January 1st. We've been working with the county executive, the towns, all have been, working together regarding the, ambulance crisis that we all are experiencing. And the, county is providing a couple of ambulances for, I'm not sure how that's gonna work out, but for the whole county's use. I'm not really sure how it's gonna play out at this point, but my understanding was they were gonna be moved around as needed, but at least, I mean, it's not solving our problem, but at least it's something to help.
Who is it? Who's providing the
And it's
ambulances though?
our
Is it
provider.
Empress?
It is,
Oh,
yeah.
Ambulance,
No,
what.
No, it's Empress.
it's Empress,
Empress?
yeah.
also know, I think they also brought an ambulance.
I
Yeah,
don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but don't expect to see that in the village.
well, yeah,
They're lined up on the Taconic and they're mainly north.
right.
The highest one, the closest one to us is at the tippy top of East Fishkill District on the Taconic. So, I mean, it's a great thing.
Right.
it's a
Up north.
start.
It's a start.
It might not be close to us, but it's gonna hopefully free up some ambulances in our area if we're not shooting out to the far end of the.
Right, hopefully, eventually, yeah.
So hopefully it helps somebody
Yes.
and then it works its way towards us.
county mostly.
I would think,
Yeah.
because some of the towns don't have ambulance service there. So, but at least that was something in the new year. That was a new service and, we're thankful for that because it's a drain on our emergency service people, so. Yeah, and other than that, I don't really have anything. Yes.
One last thing, I know that we're working on the law for the stop signs and the speed limit, so we got that covered. I think the next thing that the board wanted to address was the local law 4-2021, so Greg, if you can start looking into that.
For
That
what?
was the, for the buildings, the heights of the buildings.
Anthony, you had mentioned.
Yeah,
right.
Jackson.
Sarah was gonna come
Sarah's
back and give a presentation. I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't think that's happened yet for looking at the,
Right.
the zoning for the,
Yes.
so.
So that's something we can get Nick involved in as well.
Yeah.
And reach out to Sarah and say, find out what month she's available to come in and start to
Yeah, and he
discuss.
should look at it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything, Nick?
Nope, I do not.
No, you're good.
Yep, thank you.
Danielle, do you have anything else? No? Everybody good? All right, so, yes,
One housekeeping item,
okay.
very shut down. The ambulance service agreement,
Oh.
board agreed that you would pass a motion tonight.
Yes,
To ratify
you are right.
that contract.
Yes.
I would recommend you do that tonight.
Thank you for reminding me, yes. So we had to sign the contract by the end of the year. We weren't having a meeting. So we agreed to sign, but we're gonna ratify that tonight. So I'll entertain a motion that we sign the ambulance contract for 2025
And 2026.
and 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Right.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you, Greg.
Yes, thank you. Okay, that's great. Anything else, Nick? Are you good? Anything in the back there, you guys? You're good? Anything? No? Everything good? Okay, motion to adjourn?
Motion, second.
1 and 2, discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good, thank you. Yes.